Hello, welcome to the very first edition of the MEW Podcast, right here on MEW on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Dan Fitch. What is all this about? What is the MEW Podcast? Well, let me tell you. First of all, this is a podcast which will bring you all the latest news, reviews, information, exclusive interviews in the world of main event wrestling. We're also going to give you some information in regards to UK wrestling, particularly around about the northeast of England as well. So, what is on today's show? You can expect today to have a review of Toon Tussle, which took place on the 13th of July. We're going to look back at that show and give you some thoughts and opinions. We're then going to look ahead to Here We Go, which happens on Friday the 17th of August at the Innisfree in Long Benton, including an exclusive match announcement right here on the podcast. We've also got for you a look ahead to this Saturday's World of Sport Wrestling on ITV as well, including previewing that particular show and some more information as well on what's happening in the world of main event wrestling. So stay tuned right here. First of all, we're going to look back at the Toon Tussle. So, Friday the 13th of July, it was main event wrestling Toon Tussle III. And what an evening it was. It was, as Nelly would say, getting hot in here. Not only the action in the ring, the venue was a little bit hot as well, getting hot and sweaty out there. So let's look back then at what happened on the Toon Tussle III. So let's go right at the start of the show. We were treated to two newcomers into main event wrestling. That is Jonah Phoenix, accompanied of course by Jose Malego, as he squared off against Gavin Lewis coming from Sunderland. So it was the Hellhound against Phoenix. Who came out on top? Well, for me, the real winner was the fans. Absolutely instant classic between two new superstars really going out there and striving to be the best. In the end, it was Jonah Phoenix that picked up the win. But for me, both of them were absolutely fantastic. A great match and a great way to start the show. Next, we had England's hardest man, Shreddy Breck, facing up against another debutant, which was Boris Kozlov. These two went at it hammer and tong in what was a very, very physical match. Ended up with Shreddy Breck taking the win. Not only the win, his first win in main event wrestling. Great to see Shreddy Breck get a W in the win column. Also a very, again, impressive debut from Boris Kozlov as well. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing much more of him in a main event wrestling ring. Next, what? More debuts? Absolutely was. It was time for the Biker Mole to make their way out to the strains of tub thumping, accompanied though, quite surprisingly, by one Connor Renshaw. Now, the word on the street, the rumour mill suggests, or as Mr. Bruce Pritchard would say, the rumour and innuendo, is that Connor Renshaw was found in the Raby pub on Shields Road prior to the match by the twosome of War Mick and Bonnie Mark. They convinced him to head to the ring in their battle against the Kings of Cosplay, or the Cosplay Kings, to give them an advantage, and it certainly did give them an advantage, as the Biker Mole surprised everybody by picking up the win in the encounter. It wasn't the only surprise in the evening though, as Assassin and Nikki Starr once again dressed up for the occasion, this time portraying Harley Quinn and the Joker in maybe their most avant-garde performance yet. The Cosplay Kings were still very, very impressive despite the loss, and certainly the ending to it, where Bonnie Mark got a pineapple and smashed it over Nikki Starr, potentially injuring him, was shocking to say the least. I won't do a SpongeBob SquarePants impression. Okay, you've twisted my arm. Ooh, lives in a pineapple under the sea. Nikki Starr, who essentially lives on a pineapple at the moment. Really, really good match between two very tough, intense teams. I don't think it's the last you've seen on this particular rivalry, so watch this space. Then it was time for the main event of the first half. This was the MEW British Heavyweight Championship to be decided between Adam Maxted and Amir Jordan. It was a clash of two men that are really on stratospheric rise within the world of wrestling. Adam Maxted appearing, of course, in World of Sport Wrestling, forthcoming soon, and Amir Jordan, who's recently been signed to WWE UK, I should say, and will be appearing on NXT shows very, very soon. This one could have gone either way. Both men had advantages at different points. Both men were extremely impressive in this encounter. Amir Jordan, I thought, had the match won several times, but in the end it was Adam Maxted who picked up the win. Some would say a surprise win, not for me though. If you think back, Adam so far in 2018 has remained undefeated. At the start of the year, he beat HT Drake. He then went on to win the MEW title, outlasting both Bram and Joe Rage, and then defeated 3 other men and made 4-way war when he defeated BT Gunn, Aaron Echo and El Ligero in that particular encounter, and what was a fantastic match. And this was no exception as well. A great match, and I'm sure not the last we've seen of Amir Jordan getting title opportunities here in MEW. And then that took us on to the Toon Tussle itself. Remember, the winner of this match goes on to face whoever is the MEW Heavyweight Champion come September at Northern Bash. We had 15 people take part in the match for the very first time, the biggest Toon Tussle we've ever had. And I say people, that's because we had 2 females entering the match for the very first time as well. They were Little Miss Roxy, who was entrant number 3, and Gemini, who was out not long after her. Roxy put in a tremendous performance, one of the first people in the match. She went through nearly all the way through to the end, but it was in fact Gemini who came back out, took her onto the stage and gave her a brutal DDT on the stage head first, which then led inadvertently to her getting thrown out the ring later on. Huge match, not without its controversies. We saw Ravy Davey trying to get Rory Coyle to MC. Didn't happen. We also saw Samuel Barber getting chucked out and then needing VAR in order to decide whether his feet had touched the floor. That was a very highly controversial moment. We also saw, I'm sure we'll speak in of this later on, Chris Renfrew decide to get a steel chair in order to attack Prince Amin. I felt that even though we had the primate round ringside and the referees, that I needed to intervene at that point and make sure that the steel chair was not used in that encounter and dispose of it forthwith. In terms of the overall winner, the winner of the match ended up being HT Drake. HT Drake, a stalwart of MEW, been here in the company since 2013, former Calling Spots champion, 2-time former MEW Tag Team champion. He will now go on and face whoever is the MEW champion come September at the Northern Bash. A fantastic Toon Tussle match, went close to an hour. It will be available very, very soon on MEW YouTube, so watch this space to see the full match if you weren't lucky enough to be there live and in living colour. So that is the Toon Tussle 3. Next we're going to look ahead to MEW Here We Go, which takes place on the 17th of August. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Okay, that's enough singing for the moment. It is Main Event Wrestling presents Here We Go, Friday the 17th of August at the Innisfree in Long Benton. We are now just a little over 3 weeks away from this amazing, huge event. And here is what the card looks like so far. We've got a main event match which will pit Adam Maxted defending the MEW British Heavyweight Championship against the one and the only Grado. Grado hasn't been seen in MEW ring for a little over a year. He is undefeated in singles action. Can Adam Maxted retain the title against one of the biggest stars in the whole of British wrestling? You have to be there to find out. Also announced is a women's triple threat encounter. This will pit Little Miss Roxy, Gemini and Molly Spartan making her debut against each other. Molly is definitely the unknown commodity in this match. We know very little about her apart from she is from up in Scotland, worked for ICW amongst many other companies. Roxy and Gemini, absolutely no love lost there. The former friends turned very bitter enemies. Had a brutal encounter at the Toon Tussle, which saw Gemini impale Roxy onto the stage head first. I think whoever wins this encounter will likely be in line for a future title shot at Sami Zayn's MEW Women's title. We've also got, so speaking of titles, the MEW Tag Team titles will be decided finally, as 2 of the very best tag teams in the whole of the UK will go at it. Joe Rage and Benji Rage, the Brothers Rage, see what they did there, will be squaring off against the Rogues Gallery. Now the Rogues Gallery and the Brothers Rage have had quite some disagreements down the line over the years. It really came to a head at the Toon Tussle. Joe Rage was due to come out and make his big entrance into the match. Instead, he was attacked backstage by the Rogues Gallery, who then went on to attack Benji Rage and make sure that he was eliminated from the match. The Rogues certainly seem to have the upper hand going into this one. We haven't heard or seen much of Joe Rage since the brutal attack backstage at the Toon Tussle. Will he be ready to compete? What state will Benji be in for this match? Will the Rogues Gallery walk out easy winners? It's certainly looking like that way at the moment. We will have to find out. 17th of August, Innisfree, Long Benton. Tickets are on sale now. And now, let's talk exclusives. So as you can probably see on your screen, it will be Chris Renfrew versus Prince Amin at Here We Go. An encounter that I absolutely felt that I had to sign off. Both men asked for the match, and who am I to disagree? I 100% agree that we need to find out who the better man is here. So in the Toon Tussle, Renfrew was about to wallop Amin, my good friend Prince Amin might I add, with a steel chair. And as we've seen before, I'm kind of sick of the way that Chris Renfrew behaves in MEW. Had enough of it. He gave me the Stone Cold Stunner back in May. He's got on my face before. He's attached HD Drake. He has belittled and berated the fans. I've absolutely had enough of it, and now he's attacking my good friend Prince Amin as well. I won't be standing for it. And that is why it is going to be Prince Amin, Chris Renfrew. Here we go, 17th of August. And I tell you what, it's not just going to be Prince Amin. I feel that this is an opportunity to really show Chris Renfrew what MEW is all about. And that's why, in a somewhat controversial decision, I'm also going to put Jose Malego in Prince Amin's corner, just to show Chris Renfrew what MEW is truly all about. And I can guarantee that I will be keeping a very, very, very close eye on this one. There's absolutely no way there's going to be any shenanigans, any steel chairs, any cheating. It is going to be Amin, Renfrew, one-on-one. Myself and Jose Malego will make sure that the best man will definitely win this one. Looking ahead then to this Saturday, very, very exciting times in the world of British wrestling. It is the return of WOS Wrestling, World of Sport Wrestling, on ITV primetime this Saturday night at 5 p.m. What a roster this show has. Lots and lots of current and former MEW wrestlers and alumni. Let's count them down, some of the guys that will be appearing on the show on your television this coming Saturday. So you've got current MEW superstars. Grado will be appearing. You've got Adam Maxted, who is the current reigning MEW heavyweight champion, will be appearing. You have got HT Drake, Kip Sabian, Martin Kirby, Liam Slater, Nathan Cruz. Should I go on and on? What an amazing roster this is going to be. Looking at some of the other names on here: BT Gunn, CJ Banks, Will Ospreay, Shaw Samuels, British Bulldog Jr., Joe Hendry, etc., etc. What an incredible roster of talent. Really excited to see how this goes down this coming Saturday on ITV. Cheer on your MEW superstars. I think it's going to be an amazing show, and definitely one you don't want to miss. And that brings us to the end of MEW Podcast number 1. A little bit of a shorter one that's going to be in future. We're going to have some exclusive interviews, as I said at the top of the show, with some of the MEW stars. If there's anyone in particular that you want to hear from, then make sure you follow us on Facebook and Twitter and let us know, or reply below. Really encourage you to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. The whole of Toon Tussle 3 will be uploaded completely free of charge on YouTube over the coming days and weeks, with live commentary also provided by myself and Heart FM's Tom Campbell as well. Will be the lead announcer for that particular show. We have also got loads more exciting things coming up, no less than MEW Here We Go on the 17th of August. If you haven't got your tickets yet, send us a message on Facebook, Twitter. Go to ringsideworld.co.uk. You can get tickets from there and get an upgrade on those tickets as well. It's a show you don't want to miss, and we will be back very, very soon here on MEW Online with another podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll speak to you in a bit.